Hello, welcome to part 2 of chapter 1. We're going to start with types of map scales. We have 3 types of map scale. One is the ratio or fractional scale. For instance, 1 inch on a piece of paper represents 24 inches on land. The written scale is also another type of scale that can be seen on a map. 1 inch can equal 1 mile, 10 miles, 100,000 miles on the earth. And we have the graphic scale where you can measure the distance on the bar code and then translate it to what it should be on the ground. We also have satellite images displayed here, which shows the different types of scales. On the right, you see a very small area, but you see it in detail. That's part of Houston downtown. At the center, you see a bigger area, but you see it very small. That's the scale of 1:100,000. At the extreme left, you see 1:1,000,000, which covers a bigger area along the coastal area of Houston, but it shows very, very few details. So you should also remember that all world maps are small scale maps, even though they cover large area. They show very few details. Then we also have distortion. Every map that is projected, especially large scale, small scale maps that cover the entire world, have some form of distortion. The distortion can be distance, direction, relative size, or shape. But many times the distortion is either relative size or shape, because you don't want to fumble with direction or distance, as you can misdirect the person to a wrong place. So whenever you see a world map, know that there is some distortion. For instance, Greenland is shown so large, but in actuality, Greenland is not that large. Areas close to the poles are exaggerated due to map projection. Places have names. Another name for a place name is toponym. Every place has a name, and that name is dependent on a number of factors. It could be the name of the first set of settlers in that particular place. For instance, Sequoia was named after the first chief that settled in the town of Sequoia here in Oklahoma. Some places are named based on natural or physical features, like Salt Lake City, named after a lake that is salty. Other places are named after presidents or other political people of importance. For instance, Washington, D.C., or the state of Washington was named after George Washington. Other concept we need to talk about is site. What is the site of a place? The site is the physical characteristics of a place. It's the natural characteristics. That city or town or that area can be hilly, mountainous, flatland, forest-like, dry land. It can also have water bodies like lakes or rivers. It can have a harsh climate or a mild climate, etc., etc. So a site is the physical characteristics of a place. Situation looks at a place relative to other places. For instance, the situation of Tulsa is relative to Claremore. Tulsa is about 30 minutes southwest of Claremore, and Claremore is about 30 minutes drive from Tulsa, northeast of Tulsa. So situation also shows how important a place is. For instance, Shanghai Port in China is strategically located. It's of high significance because it is used to export a number of shipments across the world, things that are produced in China. This is an example of a site in Boston. Notice here it's a marshland, several estuary inland water bodies, and over time they fill some of these to create more land space in Boston. This is Istanbul, which is of significance. The Bozarov River is utilized to transport goods across parts of the Middle East and to other parts of the world. Location of a place. We normally use latitude and longitude to locate a place. For instance, Tulsa is located 36 degrees north of the equator and 95 degrees west of the prime meridian, or the 0 degrees longitude. Oklahoma City is located 35 degrees, 26 minutes north and 97 degrees 28 minutes west. Here is an example of the intersection of a latitude and longitude to locate a place. Here is New York, located about 41 degrees north of the equator and about 71 degrees west of the prime meridian. Another important thing we need to know about are regions. What is a region? A region is a place that has a distinctive or a predominant characteristics. A formal region is one that is also known as a uniform region. It has distinct characteristics. For instance, the state of Oklahoma, the state of Montana, or Texas are referred to as formal region. They have a clear-cut boundary line. Furthermore, there are one or two characteristics that makes each of those states distinct. For instance, there might be a one driving law in Oklahoma, which is applicable to everybody living and driving in Oklahoma. So a formal region typically has a clear boundary. Another formal region could be the Corn Belt, where most of what is going there is corn. A functional region is also known as a nodal region. In the case of a nodal region, you have an activity located in a node, a particular point, and those within that region, especially those close to that node, will benefit or utilize that service or economic activity. As you go further, that activity fades away. For instance, RSU radio or RSU TV, those close to RSU will be able to listen to RSU TV or RSU radio. As you go further to places like Tulsa, Oklahoma City, the reception drops sharply and you might not be able to listen to it. The third type of region is known as vernacular region. A vernacular region is one in which it is based, also known as a cultural region. A vernacular region is based on people's perception of a particular place, your mental image of a place. For instance, if you're talking about the American South, two things that can come into your mind is one, religion. Most people in southern parts of the United States practice Christianity. The second thing you can think of that is predominant is political ideology. Most people living in southern United States are members of the Republican Party. So those two fundamental characteristics can be used to define the American South. There are other characteristics, though, as indicated in Chapter 1. Climatic conditions, relatively mild winter. And some people went back to history, talking about the Confederate versus Union States, Confederate States in the South. But basically, the vernacular region is one's mental image or cultural perception of a place. If you are thinking about the Middle East as a region, vernacular region, two things that come to your mind could be Islam, which is the predominant religion. 93% of people in the Middle East practice Islam. And second, you can think of the climatic conditions, mainly semi-arid and arid region. So those two can be fundamental characteristics to define the vernacular region, for in this case, the Middle East. This is an example of a formal region. Notice here in this map, the Electoral College map, the red is Republican, the blue is Democrat, the purple are swing states, and this, as you see, changed from year to year. And the most recent one, if you can design a map for 2016 election, we'll see Florida in red, Pennsylvania in red, and of course Michigan in red because President Trump won all of those states. A functional region, in this case, in this map, it shows a TV station located in a particular place, for instance, Des Moines, and those around the dotted lines will show the region, and the node is where the TV station is specifically located. There are other examples here, Mason City, Sioux City. Those that are further away from Des Moines might be listening to another TV station that is closer. Those that are nearer to Des Moines definitely will listen to the station that is next to them. Here is vernacular region according to the textbook. It talks about high school graduation rate. It talked about winter precipitation exceeding 21 inches, etc., etc., in defining the vernacular region, in this case, the American South. Okay, that's the end of part 2 of the lecture.